One of the things I hear, and I heard about it all weekend from teachers all the time, are about the curriculum, that it has so much added to it that reading, math, and other core subjects aren't getting as much time in the classroom. So we're being diverted into sort of non-academic areas in the curriculum. And this is from folks in the trenches here who have to deal with this. Even before the pandemic, math and reading scores were declining at dictating curriculum. Are teachers wrong about the concerns? I mean, let me ask it another way too. Should we be dictating curriculum to the degree that we are? We meaning the collective legislative bodies.
So the process that is in place is that the Department of Agency, with State Board of Education approval, releases standards. And the standards serve as a blueprint for curricula, for assessments, and all matters related to guiding the instruction of children in the classroom. School districts then take those standards, as our standards are based over a grade band. For example, by end of grade 2, by end of grade 5, by end of grade 8. And then school districts take those standards and look to their community's needs and work to take the standards and dissect them over time so that students are gradually working toward attaining mastery or competency, better stated, on those standards. So teachers have a voice locally in the development of curricula, where most are engaged in writing curricula. And so that process that involves the assessing of students, that involves the lesson planning, the scope and sequence of a curricula, is all at the local level.
Okay, and as someone who's taught at the university level for 25 years, I've seen the caliber of basics, and I mean, reading, writing, comprehension, that sort of thing, really degrade over the years. And you beat your head against the wall trying to figure out what's causing this. And from teachers that I hear from, and teachers across the board, this is not just isolated to one particular school, say that they're so overwhelmed with all of what I'm calling non-academic material that must be put into the curriculum. They may give some wiggle room as to what form it takes, where it shows up, but still it's something else in addition to all of the other mandates about testing and certain requirements like that. So I think that's the problem. I guess my question to you is, should we get the heck out of the way? Should legislators stop dictating these mandates in legislation that puts a burden on you to have to design curriculum that really would focus back on basics and academics and make our students more competitive, not only nationally, but in the world stage? Because we see this where proficiency is sliding. There's no denying it. And when you see the United States versus countries like Finland, New Zealand, eating our lunch, eating our academic lunch, that's, to me, is a problem. And if there's something that we should be doing or not doing as legislators, I would hope you would tell us that enough. Pull up the gangplank, stop with the mandates, and let us design the curriculum. Stop designing through legislation.
And so with that, at the state level, we have 9 core content areas. And the premise is that we are preparing each student for college and career success. And we know career success is one that every student will embark upon, and college is optional. And so with that, the profession of teaching is an art and a science. And so with a school district approved curricula in front of a teacher, you're able to massage that, and there are different elements of the curriculum, from the taught curriculum to the spoken curriculum to the written curriculum. And so your point, as I understand it from hearing you correctly, is, but there still may be too much in certain circumstances. And are we doing a disservice to our students by having this breadth instead of depth? Is that accurate?
Yeah, and I think what I'm saying overall is you folks are the experts. And you should be designing the curriculum that will give our students the best shot to compete in life, whether they go to college or take up a trade or whatever it is, and not be burdened with legislation, however well-meaning it may be, but it's more of a burden on the Department of Education and local boards of education in trying to implement basic academics and allow for proficiency to flourish rather than, be hurt by excessive mandates coming from Trenton.
So if I may add to my response, the level of the level and influx of care is driven by our conversation. So when I say the care around what is being taught, we're being very thoughtful with our standards. We have public comment periods. We engage in receiving queries on the proposed text. And so I am pleased to say that we work to narrow the scope and not make it broader. When you look at the district level, part of the beauty of our system is that the school district gets to highlight what it would like to see included for each and every student. So these conversations we can have occur through our county offices, where they're asking the superintendents to be mindful of the weight of the curricula, and through the next curricular review process, begin to look at what may not be core or essential, or maybe to highlight that, so our educators, our teachers in particular, know exactly what to hone in on first.
Okay, and a lot of this is driven too by parents who, you know, for better or for worse, were able to see what their kids are learning throughout the 2 years of looking over their shoulders at home. And a lot of concerns about things that they perceive as not being academic being you know, taught, and a lot of time spent on it. So that's what's driving my question a lot too. And so, certainly the concern for property taxes, because you want to get the most bang for your buck as a property taxpayer through the education system, and you want academics to be first and foremost, and everything else is peripheral.